It's Stephanie.
It's Andre. What's up?
How are you? This is Table for Four live sessions. How is everybody doing?
We're good.
We're good.
You good? I'm good.
I'm good. Welcome to live sessions number 6.
Number 6.
Number 6. Today is International Women's Day. Hello, holla, Women's Day. And as if everything else, we're going to be celebrating the month of May. Well, not May. That's too early. Month of March. It's going to be also my birthday. My birthday's coming up soon. I'm going to be celebrating the big 4-0. And season 4 of Table for 4 is coming out in a few weeks. So super exciting.
Okay.
Super exciting. You don't look excited.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yes.
A lot of work.
But guys, welcome to our live sessions with the Table for 4 podcast, where we talk about different stories and topics in the headlines for the week and everything else in between. What do you want to start talking about today? We want to talk about the first story is the East Palestine, Ohio. Now, talking about the derailment that happened about a month ago, there's still stories that are going around that some of the residents are not sure exactly about options at this point. So briefly, the derailment of the Norfolk Southern train spilled toxic chemicals, which led to an uncontrolled incident. So now they're starting to look at different things at this point. So, for example, right? So when this particular incident happened on February 4th, the next following day, they had a controlled burn, which would kind of control an overall explosion. So now a controlled burn as opposed to an explosion is supposed to be something that was supposed to be a little bit better in terms of options. So now you have the EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency, felt that that was just the best means of action in order to prevent further damage.
Right.
But a month later, we're still reeling with the fact that some of the residents still don't know what to do. There's still not enough answers. And now it's been a big high profile case that it's you can't really work around it. Either you got answers or you don't. You know, now what happens is because of this slow federal response from the EPA, a lot of these people are looking at this crisis and they're not responding in a way that, or the urgency to respond to this crisis. And now it's putting the distrust in government agencies as long as with the EPA. So I don't know if you want to pull up the incident.
I have it right here.
You have it right there if you want to take a look at that of the incident.
Look at this. Wow.
So with that derailment,
it was 150 cars. 50 cars derailed.
whoosh,
And the cause of the derailment was a bad wheel bearing on one of those cars.
out of 100.
Out of 150 cars. That's all it takes is just one.
Can you explain a little bit to me about that?
There's 150 freight cars.
Right.
Each car has 2 trucks, which is axles. It has 2 set of axles. It's like a car. It has 4 wheels on each side.
Each side, got it.
So one of the bearings on one of the wheels was bad.
So
it gave out while it was going through that section of track.
So can you break that down and how would this been prevented, or what is the process in order to make sure that everything is good to go, like thumbs ups, getting ready to go in terms of this derailment?
Well, in terms of the thumbs up is you have to have with us it's we have like a 90-day inspection period. So it's they have to go through a 90-day inspection period where let me go back. We have a daily inspection and a 90-day inspection. A 90-day, you can't, that specific car cannot go over the tracks or anything. It has to be maintained and it has to be inspected. And also you also have your daily inspections where the equipment gets inspected every day and it has to pass a certain criteria before it goes over the road. Do
you think that was what was done for these people?
Well, in this case, it was a bad bearing, you know, like I'm going to show you another article right here. Let's see if I can find it. It says, here we go. Let me see. Let me share this thing. Share the screen. It says leaked audio reveals U.S. workers were told to skip inspections as Ohio crash prompts scrutiny to industry.
What?
Yeah. So it says employee says manager told her to stop marking cars for repair as Ohio derailment brings hard look at industry record of blocking safety rules.
Yo, you've got to be kidding me.
So they have audio of the manager for one of the U.S. largest rail companies.
That
They
hasn't
didn't
been
say
named.
which one it
Yeah,
was.
They didn't name it.
They didn't name it which one it was.
Yeah, they're not gonna go do it.
Says the manager says doing so delays other cargo. So now by me reading this, that means that you're just telling them to just start disregard the inspections and push things through.
Because
but
we have a tight schedule.
Tight schedule to maintain. But we also have regulations also that's regulated by the government, by the federal FRA, Federal Regulation of Administration. So they kind of dictate what our rules are on these railroads.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So due to the lack of not keeping up with maintenance and not keeping up with the inspection themselves, this could have been something that was preventable. Do you think that this could have been preventable, or is this like this is in the workings of?
It's one of those 50-50. 50-50 things you know really can't tell because like I said, it's a process. You know, it's like a car. Anything could give out. You know, without proper maintenance, or
wear and tear is one thing.
Right, it was wear and tear.
Wear and tear is one thing, but do you think that bearing was something that, obviously, through this terrible accident, that because of the wear and tear, it was overlooked, that could have this been prevented? That's my question.
Right, and I'm pretty sure all answers are gonna lead to yes. Either that specific car that gave out, was it shopped? Was it inspected? Did it pass inspection? Who inspected it? So it's a whole trickle down effect.
Everybody's gonna start pointing fingers.
Exactly. So when it comes to accidents, you have the NTSB, then you have the FRA that's also coming.
So what's NTSB?
The NTSB is the National Transportation Safety Board.
Okay, so they dictate what exactly? What do they dictate? Because you said FRA, which is the
Federal Railroad Administration.
So those are the two organizations, or the two associations that kind of regulate how things go down with.
But then in this case, you have three. You have EPA also.
Right. Because
so you have the FRA, the EPA, and the NTSB.
See, you throwing all these acronyms at me. You sound real smart right now.
So now the NTSB, they have their investigation process.
Right. Okay.
Oh, let me share this. So the investigation process says, while the exact scope and extent of any specific investigation depends on the nature of the accident being investigated, every NTSB investigation goes through the same general process, which involves the initial notification and decision to investigate, which is the phone call when this accident happened.
Right.
On-site facts gathering, they're going to come in, they're going to start looking at the rail, they're going to start looking at the equipment, they're going to start questioning the employees, anybody else in that area. They're going to start trying to gather facts. And to see, it could have been maybe the rail gave out, maybe the equipment was bad, so they're gonna just invest. Do a full. It's almost like a
black box for the airplane.
Almost like not a black box, like autopsy. Like a criminal, like a CSI kind of thing. They're gonna make sure they dot their T's, they cross their T's and dot their I's.
Of course.
And also you have analysis of fact determination, probable cause, acceptance of a final report, and advocating the acceptance of safety recommendations arising from this investigation.
So now with the EPA, there has now been an investigation where a lot of the residents that are in and around Eastern Palestine, they really don't know what are the next steps. There was first, there's a couple of articles that we have there. We'll link that to you, where it said that the residents were able to ask for money in order for them to move. But they were given the thumbs up to go back to their homes less than 2 weeks later after the incident. Now, a month later, now they're saying you can get money now and you can apply for money for you to go move to somewhere else, because now our reports are coming in and saying that this is probably not the best case scenario for you to be in this. So it's already been a month later and still people are still trying to figure something out.
Yeah, so now we also, on top of that, we have the FRA that's pretty much on top of all these investigating the accident as well.
Right.
So you have all these agencies collaborating with each other. And here is the FRA regulations. It says FRA accident investigation criteria. Railroads are required to report a vast array of incidents. However, not all meet the criteria warranting an FRA investigation. The decision to assign a railroad accident for investigation generally follows a railroad's telephone notification directly to the FRA or the National Response Center, the primary federal entity to which all major transportation accidents are reported. FRA generally investigates accidents meeting the following criteria: a collision, derailment, or passenger train incident resulting in at least one fatality or serious injury to railroad passengers or crew members. all railroad employees fatalities, certain highway rail grade crossings collisions, which is this would be like this specific criteria will fall under where like trucks get stuck under a crossing and it gets hit. So this would be under that. So it's like incidents involving Amtrak passenger trains, train accidents resulting in damage to track or equipment exceeding over $1 million, which in this case that would be
that's
train exceeding the result of derailment of a locomotive and or large number of cars, resulting in extensive property damage.
So then you said that because it has 150 carts, that would fall under this category.
Of course.
Of that. Okay.
An FRA, and plus it's
and
when it comes to FRA
material that they were cargo. That was the type of cargo that was carrying.
The FRA involves pretty much state to state transportation. So they kind of govern all the rules, you know, especially here in New York. Metro North and Long Island Railroad, they fall under the FRA's regulations because we are commuter rail and we also do freight services at the same time.
Right. And there's also a mention here that any train incident involving the transport of nuclear or radioactive materials.
Here we go. Accidents resulting in a serious fire, explosion, or unintended release of hazardous materials, and incidents involving an evacuation, especially if it possesses an imminent safety hazard to persons in the surrounding locale.
The thing now is that there's a lot of reports of other things that are happening in a larger circumference, not circumference, but in a radius of miles away. I don't know if you could pull up that Instagram reel.
Oh yeah, let me do that. Let's see. Here we go.
Yeah, you can go back to the beginning if you can.
In terms of when you're dealing with gas, oil, and other derivatives from petroleum, and when it comes,
refresh this.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Right now, but I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, and I'm about 5 hours south of East Palestine, where the trains derailed and released toxic chemicals into the air. Well, it's a heavy overcast today in Lexington, and it's raining, and birds are falling out of the sky and dying in the parking lot right now. Look. So if y'all want to help me out and share this video, that'd be great.
Back in my 20s, I used to work as a mechanic, and one of the classes they give you is safety. And they teach you about toxic materials and when you should use gloves. In terms of when you're dealing with gas, oil, and other derivatives from petroleum. And when it comes to VCM or vinyl chloride monomer, that is something you don't want to fuck with. It's commonly used for making PVC, and you know, in that form, it's relatively okay. But in its purest form, it's fucking highly dangerous. It's a type 1 carcinogen. That in and of itself should make you very scared. And somebody had the brilliant idea of fucking doing a controlled fire on VCM, which is the stupidest shit you can do. Because then you turn something that was in an environment that was specific and you made it airborne. And that's why it's going up to the fucking clouds and being carried away by the wind. At this point, it is an airborne toxic event. Just like that fucking movie White Noise, ironically. If I lived anywhere near that fucking place, I would take my shit, pack, and leave. I wouldn't even stay there. It has effects on your nervous system, on the liver. It can cause...
No man is like, y'all are crazy to stay here. And this is the thing that a lot of the residents are sticking around in the neighborhoods, and especially mentioning that this is the type of carcinogen and kind of chemical repercussions from this leak and this crash in Ohio. How is it one is supposed to come back and be safe, especially pregnant women, men of young children, things of that manner? Like that's not safe. Not safe for anybody.
Nope.
Not safe for anybody. So just to hear that now that they're still investigating and there's not been enough investigation around the site, and it's just a horrific situation that's just continuing in Ohio. And there were some other reels that were out there that news reporters were seeing water grime in local rivers, and it's sad. It's
got it right here.
It's super sad.
Just see that chemical pop out of the creek. This is disgusting.
Look at that.
And the fact that we have not cleaned up the train crash, the fact that these chemicals are still seeping in the ground is an insult to the people who live in East Palestine. Do not forget these people. We've got to keep applying pressure. That's how we're going to fix this problem. Thank you.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, how do we address this situation? Who else are we supposed to depend on? We're supposed to depend on how many different organizations? The EPA, the FRA, the actual company that's responsible for this derailment, or the NST, the NTSB.
Yeah, you got the EPA also. EPA it says here. Why has the EPA allowed the horrific situation in Ohio to continue?
Then it's really sad, because a lot of what was said in the article is that a lot of the people, there's a lack of people working. So that's one thing. There's not enough experienced people to work on this particular cases, and something of this magnitude. You're not experienced. You're not going to really know how to handle something like that. So that in itself is very scary. So this is I think that's really the reason why people dealing with this type of incident, they're not sure what else to do at this point. That's what it really comes down to.
It's a sad situation.
It is a really, really sad situation. But at this point, we're just going to continue reading about it and see whatever else can grow from this, because this is just crazy. But you were telling me about another incident that happened though recently.
Yeah, it's I have it here.
Hold on. You said it was in the same state.
It's in Cleveland.
Jesus.
There we go. It says Norfolk Southern conductor killed in a Cleveland train crash. After a train and a dump truck collided in Cleveland. The crash happened in the early hours of Tuesday morning near the rail line that runs through Cleveland Cliff Cleveland Works property. So,
okay. Now, is this a maintenance thing? Is this a staffing
this
thing?
was probably at a crossing. That's what it seems like.
It probably was like an accident, though.
Yeah, it's probably, but that does happen all the time.
Was there?
See, at a crossing. See, this is exactly what at an intersection. Yep.
See,
look at that. It lifted up.
Oh. Man, see, you have to be super careful when it comes.
Look, this is the Norfolk Southern train derailments.
Look how many have been done. Holy crap!
March 4th, February 3rd, November 1st. This is all in the last 6 months.
Wow.
October, November, November again. Look at that. February and then March.
The Norfolk Southern has to really step up their game now.
Really, so they're going to be really scrutinized now.
It's going to be scrutinized, and there's going to be people that are not going to be very happy about the situation, because there's nothing really else you need to do. You either stay on top of your workers, stay on top of your maintenance in terms of your trails and derailment, and prevent incidents like this.
Yep.
Super sad. Oh my goodness. We want to go on with the next story in the headlines. We want to talk about the 17-year-old who was accused and attacked a teacher's aide over the repossession or taking of his Nintendo Switch. Now, let me read that again. 17-year-old attacks teacher over confiscated Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
My first question is, why you got a Switch in class? The first thing I'm asking. Leave it in your bag. Leave it in your bag. Yep. That's number one. Number two, you're asking for it to be taken from you, especially when you're in classroom time. Back in the day when we went to school, with our beepers and cell phones and stuff like that, you brought it in class, so you had it out. They would confiscate it and give it back to you at the end of the day. Like, why would you?
I used to bring stuff to school all the time, but I wouldn't play with it in class.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I
went to lunch or something, just to use it. But we didn't have that issue of bringing. Well, we used to bring our Game Boys back then,
right,
or our Tiger handheld devices,
right.
But nothing like a Switch or anything.
It's a gaming console, yes, or whatever. But why are you using it during class? That's the question. Why are you using it during class? I don't understand. Leave it in your bag. Don't take it out. So apparently what's going on is there's been court documents that show that the teen was staying at a group home, which is located in Palm Coast in Florida, which is called Echo, and it's called the East Coast Habilitation Options. Now, what happens is this particular home is really geared towards children and adults that have
a disability or learning disability.
behavioral disabilities, autistic, ADHD, and things of that matter. So what happens is further in the story, if you read the article, the teen was super upset, you know, because his possession was taken from him. But it's never been really clarified if, you know, if it was confiscated, or if there was a miscommunication, or something of that matter. But looking at the video,
we're gonna play it right now.
It's graphic, so I want you guys to just be careful. You know, young children looking around.
What is wrong?
What is? Oh my goodness! Look, it. Now, and he's still getting.
Wow. You're gonna try to pull him off. Look at that. Oh my God.
And then in the article, it kind of continues with the story after with the body cam, and it says apparently he was upset when he was being led away with handcuffs, obviously, and he started kicking tables. He knocked down a computer.
No, he knocked out. That was when he asked. He felt bad for the situation, and then when he asked if he still can go back to his foster home, to the foster group home, and the officers told him that they don't know if he's going to go back. Then that's when he started having a fit, and they had to carry him out in cuffs. And then as he's walking by, while the teacher was still was getting treated, he spit on her, like, and telling her, like, "I'm going to kill you."
What?
And started threatening the teacher. So he has issues.
Oh my God.
He has issues.
So now apparently he's being held on a $1 million bail at Flagler County Jail, according to the sheriff's office. So
sad.
That's really sad. I really don't know, as a parent, how would we be able to help a person like that in that situation? Because that can't go unpunished. Like you cannot just walk around and here's my thing. All right. You might not like my opinion. Okay. Your disability does not excuse you for bad behavior. I'm sorry, I said it. There's many people that have autism that have behavioral issues in terms of, you know, if they're not understanding, if there's a cognitive, no, it is not an excuse for you to excuse bad behavior. That should have not been excused. Not excused. And there has to be some sort of understanding for both ends. Yes, he might have difficulty understanding, but you're 6'6". You can't just go ahead and hit your teachers just because you're upset. You gotta maintain something, some sort of respect, some sort of understanding that like this is not okay. Just because you have a mental disability does not excuse bad behavior. It doesn't.
It does not.
Whatever you think it might be okay, it does not excuse bad behavior, and that's one of them. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. But another story that I'm not okay with.
Which one is it?
It's all of them. It's all of them today. We picked a bunch of winners today, to be honest. So, based on a post on Reddit, another good friend of mine, Paulette Arado, she was from I forget, it's not the Maker Muse podcast anymore. It's called La Vida es Más Chévere. And with this, she made a post from Reddit talking about, should we expect our partners to pay half for a hospital bill?
This is the table for fours Ada section. Ada means, am I the asshole?
Oh!
Am I the asshole?
Are you the asshole? That's the good question. So, brief story. So the married couple were together for 14 years, and they recently had a baby. So at the time, the mother had a birth plan for an unmedicated birth plan, you know, without any interventions. But in that sense, you know, the mom ended up getting an epidural, right?
Yeah.
An epidural is not cheap. You know, you have to pay the professionals in order to, you know, get the epidural. You have to get the anesthesia, things of that manner. So It was all fun and games until the hospital bill came in. And then when the bill came home and time to pay it. So the husband was like, there's no discussion about the bill. Nobody told you to go ahead and have an epidural.
Yeah, you could have waited a few more hours.
You could have waited a few more hours. All right. Take it away, Mr. Molina. Was the husband right in this situation? Why are you thinking about it?
Two things.
Why are you thinking about it?
I read the article. The article states they've been together 14 years. They've been married 7. They have separate accounts, but they have a joint account for bills. Mm-hmm. Number one, that's a red flag. If we're married, we're going to have this one joint account. Everything goes in and that's it.
That's not a red flag. No.
Yes.
No.
To me, it is.
No, it's not. Because you still should be able to have somewhat of independency. That's how.
Right. There's nothing wrong with you having your personal account, for little extras here and there, whatever.
Okay, so
that's fine. But the majority of their money where they kept it on their own, and they just put exactly what they needed for bills. Everything was split down the middle, 50-50.
But that's how certain people have arrangements. That's people are maybe more secure. Oh, maybe that's the way that they keep themselves in something that's financially stable. Again, everybody, does their finances differently.
Right.
You got to remember that. But because of the way they do their finances differently,
so everything, it kind of dictates exactly.
Okay.
But number one, I was reading through the comments. He's in the wrong because number one, you're a married couple. Everything's supposed to be down the middle. It doesn't matter. You both were involved in the creation of something beautiful. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So therefore, it should be 50-50 down the middle, regardless.
Okay, but my question
number one, okay, but the first one that was a letdown was the insurance should have paid for it. The insurance company let them down. So why wasn't that not included in the insurance?
Maybe the type of insurance that they
have. I don't know.
It could be tricky. It could be tricky when it comes to maybe the original price tag was $32,000 because that's very feasible, and that the coverage was only able to cover 1% a certain percentage of that amount, and then 8,000 was left over from the cost and for the whole birthing experience or something. That we will never know. We won't have a statement
but now like because of this, there's friction in the house.
No, but the question is, should there be friction in the first place? My man was like, well, you should have held off on the epidural. If you want to say that to me while I'm in the midst of giving birth to your children.
But you got to remember, she was delivering for over like almost 24 hours. So that's caused a concern for like.
That's a health concern.
That's a health concern now.
For both the baby and her.
That would be like C-section numbers, like where they have to go in and that's all right. Now you can't do it naturally. Now you got to go.
Right, but they would only do that if they had to medically intervene, if they felt that the baby and the mother were in danger. Now the thing is like if she couldn't hold out another few hours to give birth, maybe she might have not dilated. Maybe
right. You never know.
An act of Pitocin might have helped to kind of speed up the process. But what I'm saying is that now the bill came home and my man is like, "Well, I ain't paying it." What?
No, he's like, "Here you go." You decided to get that epidural, here you go.
So how does the 50-50 count into this situation? That's what I want to know. How does that 50-50 count?
Instead of in the article it said she ended up paying the whole bill anyway.
Right.
But now is like this. It's caused friction in the relationship in their marriage now because of it.
Okay, was the husband wrong? Was he the asshole?
Yeah, he is.
Okay. So what would have been the best case scenario for this situation?
The best case scenario is number one. Sit down together, call the insurance. Listen, why was this not included?
Why was this not covered?
Why was this not covered?
Or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Okay.
And then 2, if the insurance says, well, you have to pay it, then fine. They both have the responsibility to pay for it. It should be 50-50 down the middle.
Wait, but I'm so confused. Is it 50-50?
No, he's telling her no. It was $8,000. He gave her the bill to pay the whole thing.
Right. So he should have paid $4,000. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying, yeah, it should have been 50-50.
Okay.
The whole article is saying that he gave her the bill,
right?
The $8,000 bill for her to pay it. He's like, I'm not paying anything. You decided to get the epidural, so now this is your bill.
Okay.
So he took care of pretty much 75% of his insurance, or doesn't matter whose insurance it did, but the insurance paid something.
Right. So
but it's a joint effort.
So because of that particular procedure that was done, and it was something that she had done, that he doesn't feel like he's responsible for paying for.
Yeah.
He's the asshole.
Yeah, he is. He's the donkey.
It's not even.
He's a dunce.
It's not even a question.
In the words of Charlemagne, the donkey of the day. Donkey of the day.
But I mean, again, if we were to have that conversation, and and it was a difference between me birthing your child and you telling me I have to pay for the bill, that's a red flag right there. Like, I'm not paying for that because you should have held out for an epidural. Excuse me? No, I'm sorry. Red flag. Red flag.
Red flag.
Red flag. Like, I'm good, bro. Like, if she had enough money to cover it, and what if she made more money than him?
It doesn't matter.
It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter.
There you go. Doesn't matter if she makes more money or not made more money. That's kind of unfair to put the whole burden on her.
But now this has gone viral.
The birth and the bill. You put all the burden on her, and y'all were together 14 years, and you didn't notice this man was like that.
Yep, it went viral, so I'm pretty sure he's
reeling in his decision making now. No, my man is still the asshole. He's probably don't care.
Yeah, of course. I'm pretty sure people are gonna let him know that he's an asshole
because the bill was paid and it's not his concern anymore.
People gonna know he's an asshole.
What a jerk.
That's it. Yep.
What a jerk. All right, another set of jerks on the story headlines today. Ay, ay, ay. A Queens restaurant was vandalized by a group of teens. I mean, just take a look at this video. Like,
we begin here at 5:30 with that Queens seafood restaurant ransacked over the weekend. The vandals broke furniture, plates, even a window.
CBS 2's Christina Fan reports now from College Point.
Utter chaos inside this Queens restaurant as a mob of masked young adults storm inside, chucking tables and chairs while customers are eating. Video of the aftermath shows bewildered staff standing over piles of shattered utensils.
From the time they entered to the time they left, it only took a minute. They didn't say a word. We have no idea what was happening.
Tony Hu is the manager of Fish Village and is still at a loss as to what motivated the attack Saturday night. He says the group of vandals consisted of about 20 people. They weren't customers and offered no explanation as they started trashing the seafood restaurant.
I was behind the register and was in shock. Then I ran to call 911, but by the time I got through, they were already gone.
No one was physically hurt, but the property damage cost $20,000. The restaurant also had to comp about 30 or so customers who had their dinner interrupted. But the manager is most concerned about the long-term impact.
This is a big financial loss, especially our reputation to future customers. Nobody wants to go to a place where things like this happen.
So far, police have made no arrests, but they are investigating the incident as an act of criminal mischief.
I was so worried they were going to harm my employees or customers, but quickly became clear they just wanted to create as much damage as possible.
Who says it's hard enough making a living in the restaurant industry without worrying about safety? He wants to get to the bottom of why his business was targeted. In College Point, Queens, Christina Fan, CBS 2 News.
Okay. Those are a group of assholes right there.
Yeah.
Major group. All of them.
That was my son. I'm like, yo, you going bad, you're apologizing, you're gonna work it off now. That's it.
Either that or we'll do what the husband did. Okay, you made this mess. You're responsible to go and paying that bill for all the stuff that was the damage, right? But is the dad at the asshole at this point?
Well, he's responsible for the child,
right?
So, yes.
So he's gonna say, "Well, I'm not paying for the damages because nadie te mandó para hacer eso." Right? So I'm not paying for anything. Right? That would be an asshole thing to say, but then realistically, how would you as a parent, if you've known your child was to do something like that, how would you even, bro, I'm at a loss of words. I would have been beating somebody. Somebody would have caught these hands. Somebody would have catched these hands.
You work hard, and for something like this to happen, it's just slap in the face.
Look at the restaurant owner. He was so scared that they were gonna go and attack him or his employees or any of the customers. Now he's all over the media now, saying that now they're not gonna want to go to the restaurant because they're more likely to get attacked again. Were they targeted? Was there something in particular? Was this a gang initiation? A hate crime?
Who knows?
Those are the things. Those are the things I hate. I hate to hear stories about that. But that's super scary. How you sitting in the restaurant, you chilling, you eating your noodles, and all of a sudden you see a bunch of people just coming. Like, what in the world is going on?
Sad. We live in some, I hate to say it, some fucked up times.
We live in some crazy times.
Crazy times right now.
Crazy times. But guys, is there anything else you want us to talk about on our live sessions? Please follow, like, share, give us comments, give us ideas.
You want to be a guest? Let us know.
If you want to be a guest on the live sessions, we could have like a sit down. We could talk about anything y'all want. Well, not everything. Yeah, let me just throw that out there.
Well, we could do a live session talk about anything.
We could,
just shoot the shit.
Yeah, that true. But guys, we want to thank you for coming with us on the live sessions today, talking about everything that happens, different stories and topics in the headlines and everything else in between. My name is Stephanie.
This is Andre.
And this is Table for Four live sessions. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care.